This is Civil 3D 2014, Automatic Line Work and Survey Databases. What we'll cover is some basic examples of simulating surveying in the field for automatic line work in Civil 3D. We'll bring that simulation, that survey into Civil 3D and see how those lines draw. Then we'll also bring a completed topo, a .csv file, into Civil 3D and look at addressing some common mistakes or fat finger examples that always happen in the field. So let's start with a basic aerial photo. We're simulating being in the field, and what I'm going to do is just create some points along here, and these will be Kogel points. We'll then take those points and import those into the survey database and see how our automatic line work is created. So what I'm going to do is use a series of line work codes. And if you look on the Survey tab on the tool space, at your line work code set, we're going to use a series of these. I'm going to use the begin code, I'm going to use the close code, which is to do a closed polyline, or excuse me, a closed survey figure. We'll also use some of these other commands as well, like PC and PT or OC. You'll see as we go through those how these work. So what we're going to do here is we're going to shoot this back a curb island here. We're going to go all around and shoot this. We're also going to shoot the edge of concrete along here. We'll pick up one of these little landscape beds in here. And we'll demonstrate a number of ways, number of options of how you can survey this stuff. So let's go ahead and bring up point creation tools and start creating basic points as though we are in the field taking shots with our data collector. So we'll take a shot right about here, and we'll say BC space B. That's back a curb, begin. Then we're going to take advantage of the horizontal and vertical offset codes, and these work in pairs or in combination to draw additional lines that are parallel to the main line that you're shooting. So we're shooting along back a curb. We're going to say if we wanted to draw a top face a curb, the flow line, as well as the lip of gutter. So 4 total lines. So the first line, top face a curb. I'm shooting a point right here, and I'm going to start walking this way. So to my left will be the curb. So it'll be a horizontal of negative 0.5. Since there's no change in the vertical, I don't need to put in the vertical offset. The next line will be the flow line, horizontal of negative 0.67, and a vertical of negative 0.5. Next option will be the lip of gutter. That will be a horizontal of negative 0.217 and a vertical of negative 0.42. We're saying there's a slight tip-up gutter there, and we have estimated that. Now, using these horizontal and vertical offset codes are only beneficial when you have long strings of curb that you can assume constant offsets. So that's what that survey code will look like. You only have to enter that at the beginning. Let's take a shot right here. And this is also where some sidewalks are going to be in. So what I can do is say BC, EOC, begin. So I can continue one line and start another curb or a concrete line from the same shot. I'm going to come along to this curve here. I'm going to take advantage of the OC command. The way the OC command works, if I take a few more shots here, BC, BC, is it will basically run a fillet between the two tangents coming into the curve. So you have to have 2 shots coming in and 2 shots coming out, and it will basically run a fillet and find the PC and PT and make this arc tangent to those tangent segments coming into it. So now I can move along here. I can continue to take EOC and B shots in any order that I want. Okay, in the middle of this I can stop and shoot this little landscape bed. We'll take advantage of the close command as well as the PC command here. So I'm going to say landscape begin and PC to begin a curve. So begin a line and begin a curve. Another landscape shot. Another landscape shot. Now I don't have to use the PT or the end curve code if I know it's going to be a 3-point curve. It defaults to a 3-point curve unless somewhere down the road you put in the PT command. Let's come down here, landscape PC, landscape, and ls space CLS. Now the close command is to go back to the original point in that string of shots. that start with LS and close it and end the survey figure right there. So I can walk along, continue my survey. EOC space PC to begin the curve right along here. Another back of curb shot. EOC, EOC, we'll go right up to here, EOC shot. Now I have a fairly large curve here, so I'm going to take a PC space PC shot. And what I can do is I can take any number of shots along this curve, and at the end one, I can just basically put in my PT. Now the other thing I'm going to do here is I have some sidewalk starting, another edge of sidewalk. So I'm also going to put in EOC1 space B. Now it has to be EOC1 because I have to differentiate it from EOC, which is another active survey figure right now, so I need to differentiate with EOC1. I'll continue along here. EOC1, shoot in any order I want. I can walk down the line here and basically cross-section this. Granted, I'd have some catch basin shots to catch along the way. Keep moving along here. I've got EOC1, EOC, then a shot right here. This is a back of curb shot, but it's also EOC1 end. Okay. Now you notice I'm jumping around. Okay, the key here is to be chronological here. Okay, so I can have point number gaps between EOC1 here and EOC1 here, but I can't double back on myself. Then the survey figure will overlap itself. Now there's other ways to handle that, but as a good practice you don't want to do that. So let's move along here. We'll do a BC space OC shot. Grab this corner, edge of concrete. We'll take another shot here, BC, EOC space E. We're going to end the edge of concrete or the sidewalk line there. Keep moving along. Another BC shot. We'll do a BC space OC. OC is a really powerful command. It allows you to always get your curves to come in tangent. Continue along here, BC. Now we've got a meandering curve. I'm going to do a 4 or 5 point curve in here. BC, 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 one more, and BC space PT. Okay, you can take 100 shots in there, and if you put PC at the beginning of them, PT at the end, it will fit a series of curves with different radii through all those points. Continue along here, BC, BC. Okay, we've got a small little curve here. This is a nice candidate for the OC command. BC space OC. Now remember, I need 2 shots to define the tangent, both coming into and out of the curve. So I can't just take one shot here. I have to take one, and then one more, BC, and then I'll type in close to connect back to my shot right here. Okay, that's a way you can utilize horizontal and vertical offsets. I use the OC command. I shot multiple survey figures from the same survey point. A lot of different examples there. When you get used to surveying for automatic line work, at the beginning you have to kind of analyze the site. Think about how you're going to walk the site. Let's look at another example here. I'm going to open my Linework code set. We're going to look at the rectangle, the right turn, and the extend command. There's a lot of different scenarios you can use these for. I'll give you one example here. So let's say we have this simple little shed and we can only get shots on one corner and then kind of close to another corner. Basically, I can only shoot right there or a few feet off of this corner. Now, we don't care that much about elevation. I just need to have it draw this survey figure properly. So the way this would work is like this. We will say EL, B for electrical, begin. And if I can't shoot this, this might be a building corner I can't quite catch. I could shoot a little short of it or a little past it, like this. Say EL, X, and then I would pull my measuring tape out and type in 3.05. Okay, watching down on the command line. EL, X, negative 3.05. Then from here, I can't get these other corners, but there's very short distances. So I can then use the RT, or the right turn command. The way this works is to put a series of numbers with spaces after them. RT8, that would be a right turn 8 feet. Okay, driving along here, another right turn of 5 feet, another right turn of 2 feet. So we'll say 8, 5, then 2. Then from here, I can use the rectangle command. What a rectangle will do is find the last corner of any figure it's shooting and project two perpendicular lines to find that point, and then close the survey figure. Okay, so a complicated shape I can shoot with 2 shots. This kind of strategy works great for shooting small little indentations along a building outline, or small little sheds where you don't need to shoot the back corner, for example. There's a lot of different ways to use the RT, the rectangle, as well as the extend command. Alright, that's our topo for the day. We're going to go and export these points and bring them in as though they were shot with a real total station and data collector. So export points. And we'll just wait for it to bring up the export dialog box. We're going to export it as a .csv file, and it's just the yellow points that we shot right there. And there's the CSV. We're going to export survey 1 just to this point group. Hit OK. We want to overwrite that old one. And there we are. Let's go to a new drawing. And just as though we're inserting a normal topo, we will come up here to the wizard, import survey data. Import survey data. We'll create a new survey database. We'll call this Linework. Of course, before I did this, I would have come over here and set my working folder, so my survey database is written in the correct location. And we'll browse out to that simple point file. Here's my point file format. I'll hit next. I'm going to skip networks and hit next here. And I've got a couple options here. My current figure prefix database, that controls how my survey figures look. My current Linework code set that we took a peek at, that's the Linework codes I'm using. I'm also going to tell it to insert the figures and the survey points into the drawing. Hit finish. And there we are. Now let's take a look at what we did here. This is where I started. Okay. It drew in 4 lines total, offsetting them. Another survey figure here, starting at the same point. We'll get nice looking line work there. Okay, a separate survey figure here. You see how these OC commands work? Okay, it actually slides the PC and the PT so that it's tangent with the incoming and outgoing tangent segments. Over here I shot a 5-point curve. Okay, it will best fit that curve. Same thing over here. Now it looks a little spotty, but that's because it was a fairly low resolution aerial photograph. Let's look at this little electric box. Begin here. Take a shot here, and I say x negative 3.05. It means back off along this trajectory. And put the next point there, and then do a right turn 8 feet. Right turn 5, right turn 2, and then rectangle command basically says extend perpendicular to find that corner. Those are some of the basic commands. Let's go ahead and import a full survey and see how that would look. I'll start a new drawing here. And we'll go to import survey data again, and we'll call this full survey. I'll hit next. And I'll browse to a different CSV. Same point file format. Hit next, next, and confirm the defaults. And we'll look at editing some of the common mistakes that you'll come across. Let's start right down here. Okay, I've got a median in the middle of my road here. I'm shooting back a curb. But this line, for example, is on the wrong side. Okay, so I should analyze my survey codes here and see what the problem is. And by the way, when you import your survey, the first thing you should do is look for survey point mistakes. Okay, there's other mistakes in here that we will address doing survey figure edits, but there's what I like to call a editing hierarchy. And the main two steps in that are first editing survey points, the second one is editing survey figures. You should always follow that approach. So what I can do is I can pick on this survey point and go to Edit Survey Point Properties and fix some of these mistakes. For example, I've got a horizontal offset of negative 1.5. It should have been positive. I've got a vertical offset of positive 0.5. It should be negative. Okay, I can change all this stuff at any point, hit OK, and then it prompts me, do you want to update the line work? So your survey is sort of dynamic, meaning at any point you can change survey point descriptions and tell it to redraw the line work. And now you can see that line work come in properly. Let's move on down the line here. This is a real common scenario. You shoot one string of curb with one set of shots, and then you come back perhaps in the afternoon, later on that same day, whatever the case may be, and you have a gap in here. Well, there's some nice tools that work real well once in Civil 3D. If I go ahead and open my Linework code set here, most of these codes are great, but these two here, control or connect point and recall point, these are two that I like to reserve for using in the office. So the way this works, if I first go to my point groups, let's change my point group hierarchy. Let's put number elevation description at the top so that I see my point numbers. We'll drop down my drawing scale. Okay, I've got 0.34 up here, 0.84. What I can do is go to 0.84 and use the recall point 34 command, so RPN 34. If I hit OK and enter and update that line work, it will connect all four of those lines to point 34. Really cool process. The CPN command works the same way, except it's more reserved to be used at the beginning of a survey figure to connect back to a previous shot. Recall point works better at the end of a survey figure. Okay, here's that same curve lines we were looking at, we were shooting. Okay, we had used that OC command in here. Here the PC command was used, and you can see we get a little bump in there. That OC command works really nice. For example, up here PC, you get that little bump. Same bump here. What we could do instead is edit that, pull that PC out of there, and put an OC in here instead. And update that line work, and you'll see how nice and clean it will now draw those survey figures. It actually extends the PC so that things are tangent. Okay, survey point editing. That's when you go ahead and you edit survey point descriptions and then have the line work rebuild. That same process, updating line work, this is the same process right here. Process line work means to redraw the survey figures based on survey codes. Okay, another common mistake. You missed a shot, for example. This building outline should be connecting right there. Okay, if I zoom in here closer, there's no survey point code I can put in point 197 to have it connect in the middle of point 259 and 260. There's no point number in there, so it won't work. So I have to do a survey figure edit. So if I pick on that survey figure, I can come into here and I see the list of all the points that make up my survey figure. And as I pick on different points, you'll see the cyan circle highlighting. So I want a shot between 259 and 260. Well, I can highlight 259 and utilize this command, insert a vertex after the selected vertex. Click that, I get another entry here. I can now use the little selection icon, do a node snap to this back of curve, and now point 197 is there. And if I hit OK, now it draws that line work right there. Okay, after you start doing survey figure editing, you want to avoid going back and doing survey point editing. If you do, you'll end up duplicating survey figures, and you have to manage those by deleting those out of your drawing as well as your survey database. Here's another example. 437, 436. The B code was forgotten along here. And let's take a look what happens. If we edit a survey point and tell it to update the line work, it's going to look right here. But what happens to our building figure is it doubles up. Okay, so if you've done survey figure edits and then you went after the fact and did survey point edits, you need to delete these out of here. And a nice little rule of thumb is if you renumber or rename your survey figure, then you come over to the survey tab and highlight figures, then sort, you'll be able to find that survey figure to be deleted out of the database. So hit delete, save the changes to the database, and it will remove it from the drawing as well. Okay, a few other items here. We use some Linework codes to draw some of our storm sewer, but if you only shot the rims and you need to have it be connecting, okay, we can use an option here called Create Figure Interactively. We'll call it STP for Storm Drain Pipe, and now it's prompting us select point objects. So we'll say flows from here to here to here. It gives us the survey figure properties window confirming what this should look like. We could make changes now, otherwise we can accept it, and there's our survey figure. Okay, you want to, if you have directional line types, you want to pick in the order you want that line to go. Okay, we could do another one right there, and so on. Okay, these are the basics of survey databases and automatic line work in Civil 3D 2014. There's a lot of other tools you should explore on your own, but they're very powerful tools, so I highly recommend using them. Thank you.